As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's a cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always.
We'd like to welcome you to the Donnie Glover Show. First up is Teresa Davis. She is an author, she's a playwright, a director, movie producer. How you doing?
How you doing, Donnie?
Show me that book. Show me your book. How you been?
Thank you so much. I'm awesome. I'm on the show with you.
Last time I saw you, we were shooting a soap opera.
Oh, yeah, something like it with a little more twist, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have some provocative titles, too, to your work.
Oh, yeah.
One of them we can't say on, yeah.
Can't say it all. Can't say it at all.
Okay, what's this?
This one is Hysterectomy of the Hood. So Hysterectomy of the Hood, it's an urban book, and it moves really fast. It's a lot of murder, sex, drugs, and also recovery.
Recovery? Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Drug recovery, rehab. I touch a lot on that because this is where I'm from, the inner city. This here is Perkins Project. So I'm from the east side of Baltimore.
You're East Sider. Mm-hmm. What's up, East Side?
Yeah, so I tend to write about that type of stuff.
Where did black people start in Baltimore? East side or west side?
I'm going to go with east side, Baltimore.
All day long, twice
Yes.
on Sunday?
Yes.
What else you got over there? You got some accolades?
I also have
She's famous, y'all.
the WJZ Little Dev story. We won first place in the film festival. That one is for Born in Baltimore. So, yeah, we're excited about that. Me and my partner, Kane Cole, we actually won that first place for a WJZ story. It's about a dirt bike rider who is killed here in Baltimore, and we did the story of his life.
Okay, and what's the other award?
Oh, this is the 2014 Best Director of the Year, Titan Arts Awards. I won this in 2014 for Best Director, and I'm trying my best to keep solidifying myself in this place with this.
Well, what is your goal?
My goal is to keep entertaining, to keep you guys laughing, to make you happy, to make you smile, to make you cry, and to be successful, meaning being what I want to be. I want to keep doing movies and films and see what else I land onto, see what God has for me.
Why do you do this?
It's in my blood. I used to write in school. I used to write in high school. When I was a kid, I used to write plays, and then...
But you are bitten. You are passionate. I mean, the definition of passion is red as your blouse. Yeah. You're passionate. Why? Where's it come from?
I love it. I love it. It's what God wants me to do. And it's not about money. It's about, being successful and doing what I want to do in life, and the money will come later. So I love making people laugh, and I love to see their reaction when they watch a movie and watch a film of mine. It's just awesome.
But you also a bully. That's right, I said it. She's a bully. I saw you on a set. She was like, like the supervisor.
He calls me a bully, guys, but...
In a good way, though. I mean, you're a natural-born leader.
Thank you so much. And I have to contribute a lot of it to the people that I work with. I couldn't do it by myself. I'm not going to do an Eddie Murphy and play all the roles. But some of the actresses and actors, they're awesome. A lot of these people are my family, and they're now my friends, so...
Good stuff. Eddie Murphy's an Aries like you.
He is, and Aries rock. We rock.
Aries are natural-born leaders.
We rock. And I'm very excited about what I'm doing now. My new venture, working with Silk White, with the, the web series, One, Love Hurts. Hey, that comes on every Sunday on YouTube on Silk White page at 12 midnight. And then there's another one called Till Death Do Us Part, which you have a role on now as a crooked lawyer, young man.
Sleazy lawyer. I don't know why they picked me to be the sleazy lawyer.
But I guess you picked
But I'm supposed to be the best in town, but a propensity for...
Oh, God. You did
sleaze.
awesome on that, And now I'm the assistant director. I'm also the assistant director on both films, and I also act. One of my roles is Kelly on Till Death Do Us Part, and I'm sorry, Kelly on Love Hurts. I get mixed up. I don't know who I am sometimes. I don't know who I am, but I'm Kelly on Love Hurts, and I'm also Officer Tanya on Till Death Do Us Part. I play a CO.
Good deal.
So I'm having a good time.
Good deal. That's Teresa Davis. We want you to keep watching the Donnie Glover Show. We've got more to follow.
Donnie Glover Show 1, Black Wall Street Tribute, take 2 and 3. 2, 1.
Since 2011, BMoreNews.com has been celebrating black entrepreneurs and professionals, as well as the people who support them regardless of race. We've provided some 1,200 individuals from New York to Baltimore to D.C. to Atlanta to New Orleans with these coveted Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Awards. We want to encourage entrepreneurship. Don't forget, I am pro-business. Teresa Davis is one of our recent honorees. Teresa, what does the Black Wall Street Award mean to you?
This award is so humbling for me. I'm so honored that I'm holding this and my name, rests upon this plaque. I worked really hard to bring out what's happening in Baltimore City, especially with the movie Percocet and my partner, Leonard Coleman, and to talk about what's happening with our children on these pharmaceutical drugs. To be acknowledged for doing that with this award, it just looms over everything that I'm doing, and I'm so excited to even be holding it. Our city is under siege with the pharmaceutical drugs. Our children are being infected. It's not a color thing. It's not a race thing. It's a humanity thing, and we have to look at it. And with Percocet the movie, we intend to address it. We intend to shock you, shake you, provoke you, and it's going to be vile, it's going to be crass, and you're going to say, wow.
And this goes back, this was really illuminated with Freddie Gray in 2015.
Yes.
And so it's nothing in the city of Baltimore to even see women, young women, pull up on the corners talking about where those perks at. Yeah. Well, Teresa Davis, we celebrate you as always, and
thank you.
Nothing but the best. Keep up the great work. Stay tuned for more. Welcome to the Donnie Glover Show. Our producer, Mr. Frank Johnson, insists that every episode we have a bit of good news. After all, we're in a very challenged city, Baltimore. However, after a lot of digging, I was able to come up with a story that's so special to the entire nation, if you ask me, and that's the story of James Mosier Baseball. I want to say happy 60th anniversary to James Mosier Baseball. It is the oldest, most continually operated black baseball league in the nation, to our knowledge. Unless there's someone else, then now's the time you need to speak up. But James Mosier Baseball has had players, besides me, of course, but you had some bona fide players. I mean, Kurt Schmoke, I believe Elijah Cummings played there, but even some of the more contemporary guys, some of the guys maybe more my age, Michael Singletary, we grew up together, Maurice Tates, Brian Easley. These guys made baseball so much fun. Let me tell you, I rode the bench for 3 years, but the 4th and 5th year I finally made it to the All-Stars. But that's because the competition was so stiff. I mean, you had Clero Myers throwing one of the meanest change-ups in baseball. And then the coaches, oh my God, how can I forget these guys? My coach, Charlie Hughes, Mr. White, Ike White, Delmar Harrod, and lo and behold, we cannot forget Mr. Alan Meacham Sr. I believe Mr. Meacham turns 93 in the next couple of weeks or so. So I'd like to take this time to lift up James Mosier Baseball, and a special thank you to Marbury States for making sure that I never forget where I come from. Keep watching The Donnie Glover Show.
For the best discounts on quality furniture, appliances, building materials, and more, shop Habitat for Humanity of the Chesapeake's Restore. From the living room to the bedroom, the family room to the kitchen, our 6 Restore locations have a wide variety of household items priced at a fraction of the retail value. When you shop Restore, 100% of our proceeds support Habitat for Humanity's home ownership programs throughout Central Maryland. Call today for free pickup of your unwanted items or visit ChesapeakeRestore.org.
I'd like to welcome you back to the Donnie Glover Show. I am so encouraged. We've got 2 of the most dynamic entrepreneurs ever in the history of humanity on this stage, on this station right now. Armentha Mike Cruz, we call him Mike Cruz, and Joey Brown, 4th generation funeral director. Who are you?
I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I'm a trainer, I'm a community activist, I'm a philanthropist, you name it, I'm here, I'm for my community. That's who Mike Cruz is.
All business.
All business. What else you want? Fun too? I have my level of fun as well.
You told me your dad was a big inspiration to you?
My mother. My mother.
Was your granddad?
Well, no, it was my mother who was a big inspiration. My mother was an entrepreneur, and because of her being an entrepreneur, that's what really caused me to become an entrepreneur.
Who was a Republican?
Who's a Republican?
Your granddad?
I don't know anything
the
about
uncle?
that. I don't know anything about
Somebody
that.
you told me told you about business.
No, when I say there was nothing in terms of my history that really talked about history, only my mother, that's it. Now, let's put it this way. My family, what's important about my family, we came from landowners and educators and entrepreneurs. So that is the thing that really, in terms of history, that's where it came from. But in terms of business itself, Donnie, it's really, I would discredit anybody and everybody if I didn't say it was my mother. My mother started out with nothing. She ended up running a business, owning real estate, and basically the only thing my mother did, and I have to say this, I disappointed her in one thing. She said to me, I've taught you, I've trained my children, everybody owns property now, and so when I leave this earth, I'm going to leave you, so I'm creating wealth, generational wealth. And she said, the only thing that I don't know that I really want you to teach me is how to even increase that wealth by investing. Learning how to invest in the stock market, learning how to she wanted me to teach her something because I had gone to college, and based on having gone to college, I could go to another level and then bring that knowledge back to her. So that's what it is as far as my mother.
4 generations of film directing, Joey Brown?
Yes, 4 generations of funeral directing. There were only a few things that we did in our community. We come from South Baltimore. I'm a 4th generation mortician.
Montgomery Street?
Yes, yes. 4th generation mortician, and the few things that we did in our community was church our own and bury and care for our dead. And my great-grandfather was a cabinet maker, and he also had what was called livery. You may be familiar with the word delivery. And
so livery was like transportation, hauling stuff.
Transportation of the dead, manufacturing of what was called coffins. We call them caskets now. And we're out of South Baltimore, and we're in West Baltimore now. 4th generation.
But you're also a Navy man, military.
Oh yeah.
Travel the world.
Travel the world.
You were going to say something.
Yeah. Well, I'm a 4th generation mortician, but I'm also now a 1st generation cremationist. It's been a very interesting journey. There was a time when, and we were discussing it a little bit earlier, when cremation was not a part of the black experience in death care. In fact, cremation was the last thing that people did when there was no money or no insurance. But now cremation has become so popular. In fact, the most affluent of Americans are choosing cremation as a final means of disposition. And one of the reasons why I'm here is to talk about what we're doing at 2140 North Fulton Avenue. And we're investing a substantial amount of money into cremation and bringing cremation to the community.
Frank, you want to bring it up?
Here's our new project. This is a new crematory, and what it's about is facilitating what's called witnessing. Now, somebody please ask me what
Well, we are.
Okay.
But what I want to bring out of this conversation is how both of you have been innovative, visionary, and leaders in your respective industries. You built a $50 million company.
I did.
You've built and are building the first black-owned crematory here in Baltimore. And because we have budding entrepreneurs out there, I want to tap into your psyche and just tell me something about how you've become the visionaries that you are.
Well, I would say this, Donnie, you hit a key word, visionary. I think the most important thing in terms of starting a business is having a vision. For me, at least, having that vision, because when you have that vision and you believe in that vision and you put the energy into that vision takes on a life of its own.
Would you agree, Joey?
Not only do I agree with that, but I'm sure you can relate to this, Mike. It's the first thing you think of in the morning when you wake up, and the last thing you think of at night.
We would have to take a pause. Folks, we're tapping into something. It's called passion. It's called purpose. It's called your gift. You're watching the Donnie Glover Show. Stay tuned. I'd like to welcome you back to the Donnie Glover Show. Here talking with Armentha, Mike Cruz, and also Joey Brown. So we ended off the last segment with you, Joey. What I want to get to is how to distinguish oneself in one's industry. If you have the only black crematory and you're building an even bigger one, the only black-owned one in Baltimore City, certainly that's something different as opposed to being like everybody else.
Well, being a fourth-generation mortician, I had to do something to allow me to stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. In other words, someone had to innovate before me in order to give me away. And what they did, those who came before me, is that they gave me a direction. And they gave me a point of reference to start from.
Joey, according to my notes, you took a chainsaw, you went up on the roof, and you cut a hole in the roof of the building, and nobody really knew what you were doing.
No one knew what I was doing, and when they found out what I was doing, I received a little pushback from the industry. As you know, you're UK.
That's an Undertaker's kid, yes.
As Undertaker kids, we know that there was some resistance to cremation because of the stigma that was attached to it. But one of the things that
oh, come on, finish telling it. But now that you've done it, now you are the golden child.
Well, you know, I don't know about
Your daddy is smiling on you. I can see Mr. Joseph Brown Jr. smiling on you right now.
Your dad is smiling on us, Donnie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what you had the heart and courage and sinew to do, others wish they had.
Well, I don't know, because
Yes, they do.
I think that there was a resistance to it, and because of what I said.
We had been sending our customers outside of the city to another community.
To another community.
And you will not let that happen.
Won't let it happen, don't want it to happen, don't like it to happen.
Well, watch this. Mike Cruz, how many people have you put into business?
Oh, I'd say well over 1,000.
Did you catch that? How many employees did you have with Aspen?
Well, let me stop that. I had 1,000 employees, who were actually working, but over time,
1,000.
yes, I had 1,000 employees that, you know, in terms of working, the type of business that is, I was all over the nation and international as well. So I would, say that, because as time went on, that 1,000, certainly would change from time to time, that number.
But you put people in the business too.
Yes, I did. Absolutely. Well, you mean actually putting people in?
You helped them start their businesses from scratch.
Oh, well, when I started my business from scratch. So I knew the game plan. I knew what to do, how to do it. And I also knew the importance of starting others, having legacy and creating. So I mentored many others. I put them in business, and their businesses are thriving today.
What is this?
Oh, this was during my business was always a passion.
Yeah, sure.
Always a passion. But the thing that became even greater passion was our youth, our African American, our black youth. Let's just put it for what it is. And in terms of, so in life, there are things that you feel you must do before you leave the earth.
What is awaken?
Awaken through the passage was what I felt I must do before I leave the earth.
You ain't going nowhere.
It's really about creating wealth in mind, body, soul, spirit, and generational wealth. With our black youth, with our people, by knowing their DNA, knowing where they come from, and knowing the knowledge that has been hidden and history that from us for so many years that will empower us. So in my book, I talk about how we become. First of all, we need to have an identity. Our identity has been taken from us. Our culture has been taken from us. Our names have been taken from us. So we talk about what that's got to happen to build a foundation so we can start creating an empire again, because we can do it again. But I think it was Frederick Douglass who said, it's easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men.
Joey, you see a lot of challenges in the community. What's your thought of inspiration before they cut me with this segment? This show's not long enough. I didn't think I would say it already. We need more time. What's the shot of hope to aspiring business people out there?
To aspiring business people out there, identify what it is that inspires you and focus on that inspiration. Let nothing distract you from getting and doing what you need to do. I'm a gardener. My hobby is gardening, but that's not how I make a living. That's how I get out there and get my hand. All undertakers are gardeners in a way, if you kind of think about it, right? So it's an obsession. I'll call it an obsession. It really is. And you get this idea, and you want to serve the community, you want to bring something to the community that the community needs, and you focus on it and you work on it every day in your mind. I haven't lifted a single hammer since that chainsaw.
And you got people from all races that are coming to your
You saw that
establishment.
when you visited.
We got to take a pause. Well, do come back to the Donnie Glover Show.
For the best discounts on quality furniture, appliances, building materials, and more, shop Habitat for Humanity of the Chesapeake's Restore. From the living room to the bedroom, the family room to the kitchen, our 6 Restore locations have a wide variety of household items priced at a fraction of the retail value. When you shop Restore, 100% of our proceeds support Habitat for Humanity's home ownership programs throughout Central Maryland. Call today for free pickup of your unwanted items or visit ChesapeakeRestore.org.
I'd like to welcome you back to the Donnie Glover. These are our final thoughts for this segment. Mike Cruz.
Well, my final thought is I have so many, but as far as the book is concerned, in order to bring my book into a reality, in order for it to reach the people that we must meet in our race, the one thing and most important thing or obstacle that we have is our consciousness. Our consciousness must be raised. We must understand from whence we came from. We came from a spiritual people, and in order for us to achieve it again, nothing can happen until we raise our consciousness and we understand the work that must be done.
How can people get in touch with you, Mike Cruz?
They can get in touch with me a couple of ways. First of all, let me tell you how you can get the book. You get the book called Awakened Through the Passage. It's on Amazon.com. Amazon, so you can get it through Amazon, Awaken to the Passage. And you can get in touch with me. I have a website, and my website is called awakened.thepassage, And you can simply, it's very simple.
Awaken.thepassage.com?
.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Joey.
Okay, so my final thoughts, I like to...
And please, I don't want Charlene, your sister, to come looking for me. Charlene Brown Baldwin, right?
Charlene Brown Baldwin.
Much love, Charlene.
What I like to share is a commercial that I actually wrote, and it talks about what we're doing, and it asks the question. The question is, shouldn't you be there? Shouldn't you be there with your family and with your friends? Committal and witnessing for cremation. Hello, my name is Joseph Brown, and I believe that each and every family should have the option to gather together, ceremonialize, and ultimately witness the cremation of their loved one. You notice I say witness over and over again. Witnessing the cremation is in a tasteful and dignified fashion can create a more complete and meaningful experience that comes along with the assurance of knowing the where, when, and how.
Let me just interject here, Joey. Your bottom line is that 52% of all American consumers are now choosing cremation.
Well, that was in 2016.
So even more now because of the economics and the economy. And so, long story short, this is your man. This is who you want to call. What's your phone number?
410-383-2700.
One more time, nice and slow.
410-383-2700. Please visit us on the web at www.josephhbrown.com. We're right there in the corner of Reisterstown Road, Fulton Avenue, and Pennsylvania, near Mondawmin, Druid Hill Park, Coppin. You know where we are.
Just north of Sandtown. So long story short, these are two innovative, visionary business people, entrepreneurs, and whether you're in the funeral industry or in staffing or writer, long story short, go for your dream. Don't let anybody stop you. Once God puts it in your brain, you put it in your heart, just go out there and do the work. You're watching the Donnie Glover Show.
As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's a cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you